Hey guys, it's Ebby, and I thought I would share with you how I set up my Louis Vuitton MM agenda. I've been seeing quite a few planner girls here on YouTube posting videos of their setups on their Louis Vuitton agendas, either the MM size or the GM size. And I've also had some questions about when I was going to do my Louis Vuitton agenda video. So I thought I would do a quick kind of run through of the setup of how I'm using this planner. I kind of switch back and forth between planners. I was using my Fedori, for a couple weeks back, and now I'm jumping into the MM. So I thought I would just kind of show you how I set this up. So this is the Louis Vuitton MM agenda. I added a sticker from Hobby Lobby. I just stuck that on there. I actually went over it using this gold nail polish. I added more color to the sticker, but it easily peels off like so, like it's not permanent or anything like that. So that's what that is. I've got some cute bling bling embellishments at the top, like a gold peekaboo. You can kind of see a little flower clip there. This is from the Planner Society here. I'm not real big on having like fancy paper clips unless they come in a kit or something, but as far as me trying to make them, that's really not something I'm going to be doing. So here is my planner. And this is just a little wood embellishment piece from the Planner Society. I painted it with my gold nail polish and some pink nail polish, and I just put two dabs of like hot glue and stuck that over the hot stamp. I bought this pre-loved, but those were not my initials, so that was how I took care of that. Here's my cute little dashboard. Again, Planner Society. A lot of these items are Planner Society. I thought I would just go ahead and start using those. Take you closer if you can see in. There's a lot of cute cutouts, like die cuts, that I've kind of stuck on there with some double-sided tape runner. And then I put washi strip on the edge. It's just the black and white stripe that you can find at Target. I think it's the Scotch brand. And then I've got, let me see. I've got the clear right here. It's a clear divider with the polka dotted paper in the background, and then the gold floral Kate Spade paper clip there. And that's that. So here is where I will put, it's just a clear pouch, but I like to take this with me in my tote bag, and I will put my phone. I just stick my phone in there like so, and it fits perfectly. And I can close that up just like that. And I can carry this like in my purse, and I've got that in there, tuck in some money, and I'm good to go, like as a wallet if I wanted to. But I like to keep my phone kind of tucked in there. I take this with me to work, so I just keep it all in one place. And that's where that is, like that. Again, another Planner Society card. I've got to go through and kind of color that one. I colored this one here with the curly hair and made the skin a little bit darker. So I've got to finish that up. But I was having so much fun yesterday setting this up. I mean, I was probably up until like 3 in the morning, and I probably started at like 9 o'clock at night. And I was just like mixing and matching, and I'm like, oh, I had gold paper in my scrap box, and So here's just a gold sparkle dashboard. And then I'm using the dividers that came with the red Kiki K. I decided they would look better in my Louis. But then when I was putting this all together, I'm like, that's a lot of gold. So I just turned them over to the back side, which is just the plain white. And that's just what they are. They're just plain white. So my top tab dividers, I used some of the elements from the Planner Society box. Let me see if I can open this. There we go. And just kind of glued those on there, folded them over, and made those my top tabs. Really no rhyme or reason, because I labeled the sides anyway, but I have the monthly calendars in here, and I'm just using the Kiki K inserts, so I haven't really filled those out yet. So I've got the next one is for week, so this will be where I start my planning here. And I'm using I'm using inserts from, let me show you. These are from Scrap Craftastic. They're printables. You DIY them yourself, buy them off of Etsy. Really super easy. I went through and just drew my lines all the way down, and then X where I have to hole punch, and then I will cut those out either by hand or I'll use the guillotine cutter. And that's what I did here, and I'm all set and ready to go. But I really like, a lot of people are doing this layout now using the Erin Condren stickers in the boxes. So I thought I would try that for this week and see how it goes. So I've got that. I've got my notes here. Notes on the side. And I just use this little doohickey thing, I don't know, I forget what it's called, to make my side tabs, just real easy. You just kind of push down the letters and it cuts it out, and then you can tap this on. And I did reinforce it with a little bit of the tape runner on the back so that they stick, because they peeled off pretty quickly. This wasn't very sticky. So I just ran some tape runner on the back of this and then stuck it to here. So I used that for that, and that's for the notes section here. And I just, again, more Kiki K inserts. I like the paper that comes with the planners. I have, that red one. So I just used some of the papers from those to fill up this planner. And then I've got another top tab here from the Planner Society. Just says shop, and then I labeled it on the side as well, shop. And then I'm using a paper pack. This one here, I picked it up at Michael's. It was on clearance. I really liked the floral detail on the dark yellow. And so I just cut off, I want to say like up to here. I cut, and then I went ahead and cut that portion and glued that to here to make it a full sheet. And then I just hole punched it and then stuck it in here. So I thought I would make this section for different shopping lists. Like, I can make one specifically for Target and my grocery store, craft store, and the like, on online orders, things like that. And then I have this section here. It's work, and it has due date. So this is anything relating to work. So stuff I have to do for my classroom. We have parent-teacher conferencing starting in a few weeks. So I've got to start, jotting down like questions I want to ask the parents, or if they want to ask me things, I can jot it down in here when I go in for the parent-teacher conferencing. Just kind of keep that tucked back there. And then I have just a random ... just for extra stuff. And then I always like to have an extra divider at the end as like my page lifter. And then there's the pocket, and I just have my Louis Vuitton ruler tucked back there. It's kind of really one of those like flimsy type rulers, but I just keep that tucked back there so I don't lose it. And that is the current setup of my planner. That's it. I hope you enjoyed that quick run through of how I set up my Louis Vuitton MM agenda. I was actually getting ready to sit down and film a plan with me video, and I was like, you know what, let me do a quick run through of how I set this up. I was working on this pretty much all weekend, kind of like, setting up a couple pages, and I'd come back and then I'd add some more to it, and then I'd change a few things out. Really, you kind of have to take your time when setting up your planners, because if you see how someone sets it up, you're like, oh, that's a cool idea, and then you might try that setup and it may not work for you, and then you switch it up. So I like to kind of set it up, and then I'll leave it alone, and I'll come back to it, and I'll tweak a few things, and then I get it just right to how I like it and how it works for me. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.